I woke up on the morning of day 101 and decided to continue leveling up my metalwork skill. So I grabbed some breakfast and my trusty propane torch and welder's mask and headed over to the factory and ate an entire box of cereal on the way, straight from the box. It was delicious. Once at the factory, I started dismantling everything I could find. Vending machines, refrigerators, microwaves, even countertops. All these countertops. These barrels lying around were fantastic for leveling up too. I had dismantled everything I could find and leveled up. It was time to read again. I wanted to start reading right away, but it was late at night and I was very tired. So I had a cigarette and went to bed. I awoke the next day to a thick fog and decided this would be a great day to get my reading done. So I did. I sat on my roof and read the entire Advanced Metalwork book. I decided to test out my new skills by building a little bit of storage. And I sorted through my materials a little bit. It was hungry work, so I made myself some frog meat salad. I had got the frog from foraging. I was looking forward to this meal. Yuck, this is bad. And then it was back to the factory. Get back to the mines. The lockers would be fantastic for dismantling. After that, the toilets were next. These are great source of pipes. Not even the urinals were safe. Neither were the showers. In the name of equality, I started doing the same thing to the women's locker room. And got a level up. One more and it would be time to read again. It took a few days to dismantle all the metal in the factory. And the subsequent offices. God, I was getting so bored. So I tried sprinkling some tailoring to lighten things up, but it didn't work. I was still incredibly bored. How about some more tailoring? No, still didn't work. What about electrical level ups? Hey, we got a skill up. We can now read another book. This went on until I couldn't take it anymore. I needed to take care of myself for a little while. So the next few days were spent recovering and working around my base. I got a nice farming skill up along the way as well. And I read my master farming book. And just my luck, it started to rain. I had just wasted all that time watering my crops, and now it was raining. After reading, I decided to do a little bit of exercise. And I alternated this with reading when I needed a break. I had several books to read, so I decided to keep alternating between exercising and reading when I needed a break. All that exercise caught up with me, and I woke up sore. So I decided to take the time to read my book. I had severe exercise fatigue. On the plus side, I was now a master farmer. To celebrate, I decided to cook myself some bread. I love bread! The keto life was not for me. I really wanted this bread. I ate the entire loaf at once. And it was delicious. And then it was time to get back to reading my advanced electricity book. Kept alternating back and forth between reading and exercise until I finished my electricity book, which I then promptly burned. Uh-oh, generator's getting low on fuel. Better take care of that. While it's turned off, we might as well do a little maintenance on it to make sure it doesn't explode. After I finished reading all my books, I figured I wanted to take a look at the school in town. I wanted to try to find maybe some skill tapes or some other books that maybe I had missed, or magazines. So I loaded up my cab and got going. I hadn't really been to this part of town yet, so I was a little bit nervous about how many zombies I might find. Oh, how nice, a greeting party. Thanks for the welcome, but it's really not necessary. No, seriously. You did not have to go through all the trouble, guys. I approached the school with caution. Honestly, kind of terrified about what I would find. Hopefully I wouldn't have to kill any children. I mean, zombie children. You know, re-deaden them. You know what I mean. I'm not a psychopath. To my surprise, it was relatively clear inside. But not completely clear. This is what I was looking for, the bookcases. I looked around for any magazines that I hadn't read yet, or any skill tapes or anything that might be interesting. My skills were progressing very quickly, and I wanted to take advantage of skill tapes before I wouldn't need them anymore. Unfortunately, it didn't seem that the school had any. I stopped by the cafeteria and the kitchen in hopes of finding some food. But the only thing that wasn't rotten was the pickles, which I took. I continued my search through the locker rooms, the gymnasium, and the nurse's office, where I found some welcome medical supplies. I picked up a few supplies from the kids' lockers and desks, but nothing of consequence. With the first level cleared out, I decided to head upstairs. And found mostly more of the same. It was a relatively uneventful and unsuccessful trip. It was much less infested than I expected, and there was much less loot that I needed than I expected. Not wanting to waste the trip, I searched around the parking lot a little bit, and found a car with the keys in the ignition and a quarter tank of gas. It was in relatively good shape, too. So I started it up and decided to use it for a little bit of Carmageddon. I ran over the zombies frontways and in reverse to save the durability of the car a little bit. I was really too tired to fight right now, but this was a great way to clear out some zombies. As a Sunday driver, I really couldn't get the car going fast enough to kill them outright, so I had to run over them a few times. After wiping out a pretty good-sized group, I checked them for any loot, but I didn't really find anything. I felt like I was too tired to make it all the way back to my main base, so I decided to rest the night in my temporary outpost. I spent all that effort to make my outpost safe from zombies, so I might as well use it. Well, I mean, relatively safe anyway. I had spent a few days away from base, so it was time once again for some routine base maintenance, including farming. I had quite a bit of crops to harvest. I would eat well today. I also did some foraging and trapping. It paid off with some delicious eggs. My traps were not proving that effective, so I decided to build a few more. And it's always in the last place you look. My last trap had a rabbit in it. A delicious, delicious rabbit. I decided to fix up my gear a little bit when it happened. Max tailoring. My first maxed out skill. I quickly used my newfound skill to add the best possible strips of leather to my gear. I was at max possible protection now, and this would serve me well later. I wanted to test out my new protection, so I went looking for a fight. And find a fight I did. It was a dramatic showdown in the rain. I decided, instead of going house to house, I would try to get them to come to me. So I yelled for them. I thought this little building might have a sledgehammer, but it did not. I had made a potentially grave miscalculation. I had exercise fatigue from my exercise before. This could very potentially be fatal. My yelling seemed to prove ineffective, so I decided to drive around honking my horn to try to get attention. It sort of worked. I broke a couple of spears on their faces, so I had to switch to my nightstick. But that didn't stop me. I kept whapping them in the face. And stomping them. Someone had to re-deaden these zombies. Might as well be me. The nightstick was proving much less effective than the spears. Fortunately, I brought extra spears with me in my trunk. And the re-deadening continued. Whoop, whoop, that's the sound of the police. Oh no, my spear turned on me. It almost got me killed. After driving around honking for a while, I finally found the fight I was looking for. Oh no, they're coming in from all sides. On a quick out-of-character note, my puppy Joey decided that now was a good time that he wanted to jump on me. So he was pulling on my arm while I was trying to fight this horde. So if you see me acting irrationally like that, that's why. And I'm not really sure how I survived this fight. With Joey working against me. I don't know why he was teaming up with the zombies. But somehow we survived. We cleared out quite a path here. I cleared out the trailer park of all the zombies. I felt this was my duty, as this was my place of origin. My hometown, if you will. It was day 117, and I had killed about 1,000 zombies, and I woke up to my first snowfall. It was time for another trip back to town. I decided to double-check the police station for anything of value, now that I had figured out somewhat how to shoot guns. But there really wasn't a whole lot useful there. Heading further into town, I found quite the welcoming party waiting for me. This would be a tough fight. There were very many of them. But I got a +1 long blunt skill. Wait a minute. Isn't that usually supposed to be a fat blunt? I fought my way through the horde. One zombie at a time. And that's when I saw it. The sledgehammer I needed. I just had to get through these zombies. But at long last, the sledgehammer was mine. My safety would be assured now. I quickly stored it in the seat of my car. And I got back to business. The business of killing zombies. And business, well, business is good. I was conflicted. Part of me wanted to keep slaughtering the undead, but another part of me wanted me to take my sledgehammer back to base and make use of it to make myself completely safe. In the end, slaughter won, and I proceeded to wipe out another big area of the undead until I got tired. And I almost got myself killed. Fortunately, my armor protected me. Thank you, Max Tailoring. My shoes were destroyed, but fortunately I had extras back at the base. Don't ask me how that zombie got my shoe when she bit at my neck. I decided not to take any more risks, and my first stop was at my outpost, where I destroyed the stairs so that I could sleep 100% safe at night when I needed to. Next up, I headed back to my main base. Step 1 was to destroy some of the railing so that I could replace it with a wooden fence and put an escape rope on it. Then I destroyed the stairs that led to my second level. I was now completely 100% safe from zombies, and it felt great. I added some additional flooring to my second level base, just to have a little more room for storage. I thought about building out the entire second floor of the factory, but I decided that would be a good project for another day, and I just didn't need it right now. Once again, I turned my thoughts to the coming winter, I wasn't sure if my rain collectors would collect snow or not, so I decided I wanted more of them just to make sure I would have enough water for the winter. So I built a bunch of them. And one for my crops as well. I was driving around looking for a new car that I wanted. I wanted a sports car when I came upon the abandoned fire truck here, and I decided to go ahead and turn the siren on and maybe attract some zombies. And attract a few zombies it did. Not as many as I was thinking it would, but a few. So I went ahead and took care of them. With that fun out of the way, I continued my search for a brand new car. This one's a piece of junk. Oh, this is nice. I had found my new vehicle. So I broke in and then took the window off the other car to replace the one I had broken. There you go. Good as new. It took me a while to figure out how I was going to tow the car back to my base. But eventually I figured out that I needed the sports car to tow my cab. And we were off. I had yet another car to add to my collection. After I got my cab back to the base, I decided it was time to take the new sports car for a spin. So I gassed it up and we were off. And wouldn't you know it, some more good luck. A trailer. I had to have it. Well, I mean, I already had one, but I wanted it. It took some, shall we say, creative driving to get this thing in position where I could tow it. But eventually, I got it. And we were off with another trailer to fill up. With all that excitement, it was time for another few days of maintenance, and I maxed out my farming. Very happy to see that. And I started building a new addition to the rooftop base. I wanted another room. I was thinking I would move my kitchen up here at some point. I built until I ran out of wood. Then I went and got some more and kept going. I hit max carpentry while I was putting the walls in. This was a huge accomplishment. I was super excited. After I built up the base, the walls, and the roof of my new house, I decided to go into town and slaughter some more zombies. I didn't really feel like I had a reason to go into town. I just really wanted to kill some zombies. So I went and did that, and then came back and got to work building once again. And I needed to read my metalworking book to continue my kitchen. After spending a few more days working around the base, tending my farm, getting some firewood and gas for the base, I decided it was time to head back into town once again. I tried luring them to me with shouting, but I had cleared out most of this area already. killed them until my spear broke. And then I switched over to my pickaxe. Honestly, I think the pickaxe might be one of, if not my favorite weapons in the game. I found a cop car in really good condition, and I wanted it. So I broke in. And then I didn't realize I couldn't get into the front seat. So I got out and got back in. By smashing yet another window. It had a gun in the glove compartment. I would make use of that. But first, I had to hotwire it. Success on the first try. And it even had 3/4 of a tank of gas in it. Very nice. Now let's go have some fun. I grabbed the gun and the ammo. And then I turned the lights and the siren on. This attracted all kinds of attention, and my gunfire attracted even more. But I wasn't very good with guns, so I kept missing. So I switched back to my trusty pickaxe. And once I cleared out the group that was chasing me, I decided to try my luck with the guns again. But that didn't work out, so I switched back to the pickaxe once again. It took me a minute to figure out how to reload this pistol, but eventually I did. You have to load the magazine first, and then put the magazine back in. That being done, I decided to try it again on this nice little horde that was gathered around the police cruiser. I still didn't know what I was doing, so I was still doing more harm than good by firing this thing off. And now I had their attention. I had not taken out a single one with the pistol. So I switched back to my trusty crowbar. I was trying to save the durability on my pickaxe. But maybe I should have used it for this fight. It was a tough one. I decided to try the gun yet again. But once again, I barely did anything with it because I didn't know what I was doing. And I just ended up with a bunch of zombies chasing me. Fortunately, the crowbar never lets me down. Do you know what the definition of insanity is? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Fortunately, I knew what to expect for the results of my crowbar. Okay, but this time for sure, right? Right. Oh, I winged him. I got one. Got two. Winged a third. I'm starting to get a little bit of damage in. I still haven't quite figured it out, but I'm getting a little bit lucky now. Doing a little bit of damage. And there's my first reload skill. Oops, I forgot to put the magazine back in. Winged him again. Come on, I can do it. I can do it. I believe in myself. Come on. Take him down. Time for trusty crowbar to take over once again. Just a few more to clean out. Would my gun work this time? All signs point to no. But my crowbar still works. I decided I liked this strategy of having the police car drawing all the zombies to me, so I thought I would keep doing it. These guys are stuck behind the fence. If only I had a spear, I could poke them. Oh, past Max. This is future Max. If only I could tell you what to do. You are so close to figuring it out, but you just haven't got it yet. Stand still and aim, dummy! Can't you figure it out? Figure it out already! Stand still! There you go! You got it now? Nope. Nope, you don't got it now. Well, you better figure it out quick, because look what you've done. Look at what you've done! Oh man, so many zombies around that police car. What are we going to do? I crept around, leveling up my sneaking, and light-footed, and nimble, and was hoping to peel off a few at a time, and was relatively successful. I decided to try to hotwire the truck nearby to maybe make my escape, or at least maybe do some Carmageddon. But it just would not work. The battery was completely dead. Yep, that thing is going nowhere. And I am not getting near that cop car. I decided to sneak around while the zombies were distracted and maybe pick up some loot, but there really wasn't anything good around. There was no way I was getting back to that police car tonight, so I decided to just let it run all night and we'll see what happens later. But I had to head back to base and get some sleep. It was getting very dark and I was getting tired. Rested, rearmed, and reloaded, I headed back towards the police car to see what I could do. I grabbed an already beat-up car and decided to engage in some Carmageddon. I figured this would be the quickest and easiest way to get them away from my police car. That's my police car. There wasn't quite as many of them as it had appeared last night. Looked like they were dissipating because the siren had stopped. But I wanted to dissipate them even more with the hood of my car. I had to be careful not to hit the police car while running over the zombies, so that made it a little bit harder. I was also concerned about the car dying and leaving me stranded in the middle of the horde, so I decided to back over them a little bit and save the front of the car for a little bit. The car was dying quickly, but I really wanted to clean them out even more. I figured as long as I could keep them from surrounding the car, I could still make an escape if the worst happened and the car died on me. I had thinned the horde out a little bit, so I decided not to risk it, and I got out and used the trusty crowbar to finish the job. I had eaten my Wheaties this morning, because I was one-shotting these zombies left and right. Oh no, the creepy crawlers! I decided I wanted to pile the zombies up. So I did. I was surprised to see the police car still working. Even the light bar. I decided to take another shot at shooting fish in the barrel. Ha! Get it, shot. But I still couldn't quite figure it out. I missed most of my shots, even though they could not get to me. I decided to make use of the police car once again to attract the zombies to me so I wouldn't have to go searching for them and risk an ambush. They're coming out of the woodwork! Well, I wanted a fight, and a fight I got. I got everything I wanted and then some. Oh boy, they just keep coming. I might have bitten off more than I can chew here. Here they come again. And I had cleared out this group. It was a hard fight, but I made it alive for now. Oh no, what have I done? I decided I wanted to do some more Carmageddon, but would the car take it? I wasn't so sure, but I didn't really think I had another choice. Look at them all! Look at them all, Anakin! Oh boy. Oh boy, this is not going well. Get a head start and really plow into them. Or maybe plow into only half of them. Oh boy. This is not good. The car is not pushing through. We might be in trouble here. Let's try backing over him. Beep, 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 beep. Come on, car. You can do it. You can do it, car. Do I risk one more time? Alright, we'll risk one more time. Oh man. Oh man. It's not going well. Come on, car. You can do it. Almost through. And we're through. And we'll back over him one more time. Oh, the car is flashing at me. It's just about done. Alright, we better not risk this anymore. Let's see what we can do with our trusty crowbar. Here they come. Wow. Okay, we have done it. We have killed that horde. That was hard work. More creepy crawlies. And they're gone. Dare we risk this strategy yet again? Yes, I think I dare. Maybe we've cleared out most of them this time? Maybe? Never mind. There they are. Let's get out of here. We gotta regroup. They're coming from all sides. Alright, let's see what we're working with. How many of them are left here? Sneaking. Bam. Bam. As long as they're coming in one or two at a time like this, I am okay. I can deal with this. It is when they get those big groups that like that it's really dangerous, because I can get tired, and then they can get to me. Whoop! Oh boy, that was close. Am I okay? Oh, I'm okay. I'm okay. Everything's okay. Everything's okay. Don't panic. Don't panic. Don't panic. Don't panic. Don't panic. Bam. It's like they never end. There's just so many. They keep coming. They are billions. What the heck are those guys doing? They were like stuck on the fence or something. Okay, maybe I should stop with the police car already. It's drawing them from everywhere. I thought that's what I wanted, but maybe I don't. Oh, not sure how we didn't get bit there. Whew, are we okay? We're okay. That was a close one. Hey, this lady has a spear in her gut. Let's take it. Now we can poke people through the fence. This feels like cheating, but, I mean, they're zombies, and I don't want to become a zombie. So, we gotta do what we gotta do. Just watch out behind you! They're sneaking up! Here's some more we can poke through the fence. Yes. Yes. Love it. What about you? Can we reach you? Yes. Love it. Aha! A fair fight. Maybe not so fair. Thank you for walking up to me so I could stab you through the fence. Don't mind me, I'm just sneaking up on you. Whoops. Uh-oh, we seem to have attracted attention. I took care of that group. No problem. And you too? And your little friend too. Oh, you want a piece? There you go. Yeah, I got something for you too. Bam! Seriously, where are you guys coming from? Oh, hi there. This is a pretty big group. Yeah, let's panic. Oh, don't panic. Don't panic. Whoops. Missed. We'll run into the tree. That's a bad idea. Oh man, there's just so many of them. We can do this. We can do it. And we've done it. Woo! So many of them that we're exhausted, but we have done it. I think it's about time to head back to base for a well-deserved break. Hi, Brain. What are we gonna do today? The same thing we do every day, Pinky. Use our police car as bait and slaughter the zombies. I think today we'll try out the shotgun. Let's see if this works any better. Nope. 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 Oh, there we go. Got one. Nope. Nope. Click, click. Oh, no. Alright, pickaxe. Time to save the day. Well, thank you. Good old pickaxe. You never let me down. No matter how many zombies come, pickaxe always takes care of me. I've been on my own too long. I'm starting to talk to my weapons. Hey, we killed one. Alright. Can we get another one? Hey, we got another one. Alright. And we hit level 1 aiming. Maybe we'll actually be able to hit things now. Hey, we hit another one. We're on a roll here. It's a kill streak. Oh, now we're on a missing streak again. Keep firing! Keep firing! Keep firing! We're bound to hit something eventually. Man, I couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. Good thing I've got my crowbar. Crowbar and pickaxe. The best combination. How is that guy still alive? I mean, undead. Re-dead. Now, well, now he's re-dead. If I ever figure out how to aim, it's over for you fools. Uh-oh, I think we've attracted more unwanted attention. Or, well, I kind of wanted the attention, but maybe not this much? Alright, shotgun. Don't let me down this time. Yeah, as if it's the shotgun's fault. Hey, we hit something! Stand still, you fool! You fool! Wow, that guy's head was hard. It took 3 pickaxe shots to kill him. Oh boy. There's quite a few coming in here. I'm gonna, strategic retreat here for a second. Now would be a great time to figure out how to use the shotgun properly. But at least I know how to use the pickaxe properly. On and on, I fought the zombies, switching between my gun, my pickaxe, my crowbar, any weapon I could find. I slaughtered them, hundreds of them, but it was never enough. There was always more. Until I just couldn't fight anymore. I was too tired. We had to call it a day. Miraculously, I was able to fight through the horde and make it back to base, and a couple days later, we had our first serious snowfall, and I was headed back into town. But that's when I realized I was terrible at driving in the snow. I figured this would probably be my last trip into town for the winter, or at least when it was snowy out, because I just was doing a terrible job of driving in the snow. I could not see the road, it was slippery, and it just was not going well for our hero. But Christmas was coming in a few days, and I really wanted to get myself a nice present to celebrate. I had been alone for almost 200 days now, and I was getting lonely. I figured I deserved a reward. So where else would I head but the bar? This area should be relatively clear of zombies, because I had fought here often, but I decided to be cautious nonetheless. Once I was sure I was alone, I went for my prize, all the beer and alcohol I could drink, or all that I could carry. I could drink a lot, but I wanted to grab it all. Beer, wine, hard liquor, bourbon, I took it all. I was treating myself. Don't look at me like that. I had been alone all this time. I deserved a little something. There was also a baseball bat that I could make use of, so I took everything. My Christmas present to myself secured. All I had to do now was survive until Christmas, which was not guaranteed. But survive I did, and when I woke up Christmas morning, I half expected to see a present from Santa. Maybe the apocalypse would be over? Maybe? Well, no, that didn't happen. Oh well, Merry Christmas to me, bottoms up. I started drinking. And drinking. And drinking. I was starting to get tipsy, but I kept going. I was really getting plastered now. Good thing I didn't have anywhere to drive. And it's not like I was going to get pulled over for drunk driving anyway, even if I was. So I kept drinking. I was drinking so much that I was putting myself to sleep. So I decided to take a little nap. I woke up sober and I couldn't have that. This was my holiday and I was going to celebrate. So I started drinking again. I drank myself to sleep a second time, and when I woke up, Christmas was over. So I decided to get back to business. Unfortunately for me, back to business in this case meant exercising to get rid of the beer gut I had given myself. After a few days of exercising, trapping, foraging, and farming, it was time to get back out into the world again. So I gassed up the sports car and headed to the country club nearby. But the undead had other ideas, as always. But as always, I didn't let them stop me. There was another sledgehammer in the road. If only I had driven this way at the beginning, I could have saved myself a lot of hassle. I grabbed it. I wanted to have a backup, just in case. I was a little bit surprised and unprepared for just how many undead were in my way. I mean, who would have thought that there'd be so many people at the country club at the time of the apocalypse? I was relieved to see that the parking lot was relatively empty. I thought this was a good sign, but it proved not to matter. Once I got a little closer to the entrance, I saw them. They were everywhere. I could not believe how many there were. But there was nothing left to do but to stomp them. So I did. My car seemed to be attracting too much attention, so I decided to turn it off and go for a more sneaky route. I thought about hopping the fence into the back area, but it seemed too risky. Then again, what waited for me out front looked pretty risky too. But I fought my way through them. There were so many, though. Every time I fought my way through a group, I saw another group next. But I had another problem. I was getting hungry, and I didn't appear to have any food left with me. This was a terrible oversight on my part. I started searching the cars around in the parking lot. But to no avail. There was no food to be had. Surely the Spiffo truck must have some food, right? Well, it had one can of pop in the trunk, which I drank quickly. It was better than nothing, but it wasn't going to help me for long. I kept breaking into cars and searching. But there was nothing. Not a single piece of food in any of these cars. I thought about trying to fight my way inside to find a vending machine or something, maybe, but it just looked too risky with my health in jeopardy because of the low food. Now I was getting tired, too. I had no choice but to go back home and rest and reload and get ready to come back, better equipped to handle the situation. And that's exactly what I did. I rested and reloaded and re-equipped myself and headed back. Things looked just as bad as when I left, but there was nothing for it. I had to start clearing them out if I wanted to get into that country club. At least it seemed like their death balls had dissipated a little bit, and maybe we could fight them a few at a time instead of all at once. On the negative side, now I didn't know where they all were, so they were coming at me from all sides, and it was, quite frankly, a little terrifying. I found the main group. It was too close to the door for me to do anything, so I tried to peel off them. But they did not want to be peeled. They wanted to stick together. I started making a pile of corpses in front of the building. The zombies were kind enough to trickle towards me so I could pile them up. This was gonna start to smell pretty soon. Fortunately, I didn't need to stick around that long. I was starting to question if this was even worth it, when I finally got the attention of a few from the large horde. So I took care of them. Unfortunately, I missed the pile, but that's okay. We started a new pile. Finally, I fought my way into the building. I had just now made it into the building after all that fighting. You've got to be kidding me. And no rest for the wicked. The inside was full of zombies too. I decided to bring my car up closer to the door. And I decided to honk the horn along the way to try to draw the zombies out of the building, because I do not like fighting inside. And guess what? It worked. Maybe a little too well. Maybe. Just a little too well. Here they come. From all over the place they streamed. And some even came up from behind me and almost got me. That was a close one. I couldn't believe how many were coming at me from the area that I thought I had cleared. And now I was in trouble. There were a lot of them, and they were between me and my car, so there was no quick escape for me. I would have to fight my way through. That was a close one. This fight was filled with close ones. But eventually, I started to whittle them down to a more manageable number. I was starting to get exhausted from all the swinging, but the numbers were thinning. If I could just hold on, I could do it. And I had done it. I had defeated them all, at least as far as I could tell. The fog had rolled in, and I could no longer see what was in front of my face. I took a little break and then fought my way back through the fog. I literally fought zombies all day, killing dozens of them, and it was wearing on me, on my mind and body. I couldn't take much more of this. But the undead are relentless. They just kept coming and coming. and I kept slaughtering them. But it was wearing on me. I got slower and slower with each zombie. My swings losing their power. I had to do something, or this would be my end. So I parked my car as close as I could to another car so no zombies could get to me, and I slept. I needed it badly. I wasn't safe, but I needed the rest. I had to risk it. And the risk paid off. I woke up. Well rested and with a clearer mind, I decided to give up on the idea of getting into the country club and decided to just take a driving tour. So I drove around and took in the sights. After exploring for a little bit and killing a few more zombies, I decided I had had enough of the country club and that it was time to head home. It was New Year's Eve and I had arrived back home just in time to celebrate the new year. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year! I spent New Year's Day the same way I spent Christmas Day, drinking myself to sleep. And then waking up and getting drunk again. After my 24-hour celebration of New Year's, it was time to get back into shape once again. Fortunately, I didn't have any more holidays coming up. My gut couldn't take it. It was getting huge. After I got myself back in shape, it was time to go back to exploring the world. I found a rundown little neighborhood with some for sale signs and a rundown construction site. I had to kill a few zombies along the way, but there wasn't as many as I was expecting. A little farther down the road, I found an abandoned factory, and I just had to explore it. Other than a couple zombies, it was pretty much empty. Nothing much going on, no loot or anything. I had finally figured out how to use my gun, so I figured I might as well use it. I took out a few zombies pretty easily with it. Unfortunately, it did attract more. But I was able to shoot those as well. And then I busted out my pickaxe for the ones that got too close. Ah, they're coming out of the woodwork again. The fact that I had figured out how to use my guns was making me bolder, so I set another police car trap. And then I shot anyone that came near. I felt like I was about ready to head out into the world and explore different towns, so I wanted to figure out what the best way I could carry as much gear as I could onto the next town. So I started experimenting with different ways of towing things, to see if I could maybe tow 2 vans or what I could do. It didn't go well. The vans couldn't be attached to each other, and none of my vehicles were really strong enough to tow the others, so I just had to settle for my best van and the trailer. I decided to vent my frustration on the zombies and took my pistol and started blasting. Anyways, I started blasting. I went out into an area I hadn't been before, and I was shouting and honking my horn and everything to try to get them to come to me. Eventually they did, in bigger numbers than I was expecting. So I had to retreat. It was only a temporary retreat, though. I came back, blasted. Eventually, I had killed enough zombies that I was feeling better about my disappointment earlier. So it was time to start looking towards the future once again. I decided I liked using firearms to kill the undead, so I started heading towards the gun shop down south. There were a lot more undead on the road than I was anticipating, but I was able to clear them out with my gun and my trusty pickaxe. Until it happened. Disaster struck. I was sure I was bitten. I was sure I was infected. I was sure I was going to die. But I carried on, just in case. Once I was finally able to check on my hand, I saw that I was lacerated, not bitten. There might be still a chance, so I carried on. Eventually, I fought my way into the Army Depot store and had a look around and got some nice loot. They had plenty of bags, including military backpacks, the best backpacks available. So I took a couple of them. The military clothing was cool, but it wouldn't help me, so I didn't take it. What I really wanted was behind this locked security door, but I was just too tired to try to break in right now. I had to risk sleeping. I was just too tired, so I pulled my car up as close as I could to the wall of the gun store and risked it. Would I wake up? This time, yes. After clearing some undead out of the immediate area, I headed back into the Army Depot gun store and broke down the door. There I found the motherlode, all the ammo I could ask for. But where were the guns? I couldn't find any, so it was time for another shooting spree. I was very over-encumbered. This fight was not going to go well for me. And my gunshots had attracted a lot of attention. But all I could do was keep blasting. And poking. And stomping. This was a very tough fight, given how few zombies there were. It should have been much easier, but I was lucky to make it out alive. Executed. I just had too much gear and was too tired. I had to get out of here. Fortunately, on the way home, my wound healed and I was not infected. As I prepared for bed on night 200, I took a walk through my base and marveled at the life I had built for myself from the ashes of the apocalypse. I was safe, warm, I had entertainment. I had reliable, renewable food and water. I had an entire fleet of vehicles to choose from. And my skills were progressing nicely. But I thought deep down, this is not the way to live. I needed to venture out and try to find other survivors.